Now, I don't know if it exists or not, and nobody can prove it.
Hey, I like that, Helio. I like that. But I gotta agree with you guys. Nathan is a bigger asshole than Helio. I agree with you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you. Did somebody say that? I would agree with that too.
Gemsy just said it. Gemsy just said it.
Helio. Oh my goodness. You're lower on the spectrum, Helio. There you go.
I'm the low man on the totem pole of assholes.
It was a close fight.
No, but seriously, this ether argument really, it's really, when it comes to brass tacks, I mean, what is the ether? It's just, in my opinion, I've listened to you guys talk about it for years and years, and it isn't it just the basis, it's what the only way that creation can exist, everything that we experience, it's on a canvas, but a canvas, well, not a canvas. And canvas is like 2D, right? But it's the canvas 3D of creation, and that's the way I look at it. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but that's kind of the way I look at it.
Well, yeah, canvas is a pretty cool word for it. It's whatever. I thought it would really work where everyone's just like, okay, yeah, there's something there. Lemon, pump the brakes. That's kind of what I thought was going to happen, but it did not work out.
Lemon does get out of control about the ethers. He just goes balls to the wall, all kinds of crazy. But bro, I mean, it's just as simple as that. I mean, it's the fabric that all the creation exists upon. In my mind.
Kind of sounds like what the ballers call space-time.
Well,
it's very similar. Very similar.
They kind of hijacked it. They kind of hijacked the background, and then they ripped all the substantive qualities out of it, and they said it was just ideals. And they took the mechanisms of it. So it's very ironic, because that's one of the big hiccups, and I understand it, where it's like, it's so similar that it's kind of like got a kickback.
Wouldn't it be ridiculous to actually try to apply science to it?
Yeah, that would show a drastic misunderstanding of what it is. You can't apply science to it.
We got a problem. We got a problem with this bending and warping of space-time. So if you have an object embedded in a medium and you bend the medium, right? It only moves during the time in which the medium is being bent. Once the bend is complete, it stops moving. Now, they recognize this problem in relativity, which is why they need everything shot out from the Big Bang and constantly going in a direction, because they need the object to be moving. The space-time itself doesn't move the object. The object moving already through a bent space-time is what causes it to move.
That's a
very
great
convoluted.
Point. That's a very great point.
Right, because it's not like gravity. It's not like gravity, like they say, right? Where you pull an object away from the Earth and then it's just attracted by the mass back to it. It's not like that at all. It's a matrix of motion, right? And it's not just the motion of outside the Earth and then towards the Earth and then hits the Earth. It's not like that at all. It's going in multiple vectors to create the effect.
Exactly. Like space-time, in their paradigm, space-time tells the matter how to move, but it doesn't make it move. It just tells it how to move. That's what they would say, at least.
Right. And so then where do you get the motion from? Well, you get the motion from being flung out from the Big Bang, right? So this is why they need nothing to be at rest. They need everything to be in motion.
Exactly.
But of course, they needed a constant, right? So they had to pick one, so they picked light.
Exactly. They picked light. Because if everything's relative, it still has to all be relative to something. There has to be an absolute frame of reference somewhere. He picked a thing that you couldn't really prove wrong, right? The top measurable speed of light terrestrially. It's pretty genius in a way. Another misnomer that Globers say is they say like gravity pulls everything down to the earth, and I hear flat earthers say that a lot too. And colloquially, that's fine, but actually within the relativistic paradigm, that is not the case. It is actually that space time is pushing everything down to the earth. Just a little. I mean,
that's not even correct. Space-time is creating essentially a railroad track to which a steaming railroad takes.
Going down into like as if it were an actual physical fabric down a curved surface, sliding down towards the mass. What a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, right. Like in that sense, you're right. So more technically, you're accurate in the sense that it's actually just the gravity, like falling down in a gravity well. But like if you listen to some of these theoretical physicists try to explain it, the totality of the space-time fabric creates a downward pressure towards the center of the biggest mass within that gravity well.
Yeah, but only on a planetary scale.
Yeah, but the problem is,
stuff they say, man, the scale.
When you need to wash your space-time fabric, do you have to like put it in a circle around the bottom of the washing machine so it doesn't off balance?
Yeah, how would you spin that?
Exactly.
How funny is it that every time they try to share space time, they pull out like a literal blanket or something?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
bro,
exactly.
you don't have that. You don't get to have that, buddy.
It's the old space-time bed sheets. The old space-time bed sheet.
You could think of it as a space-time bed sheet if you wanted to. And it's all relative anyway, right?
Dude, you remember that? You remember that quote? It's like wiping your butt with silk. It's like wiping your butt with smooth space-time.
Dude, Amazon would sell out.
Smooth.
The fabric of our lives.
Get the smoothest one.
Space-time baby wipes. Dude, they would buy them, bro. They'd buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Put it in order now. Beat the rush.
That was another thing too. Is like Michelson Morley was called a parlor trick, and it's like, well, man, it's not a scientific experiment, but it is an observation, right? Like it does provoke thought. It's like, I wonder why this happens every single time that we shoot light across each other in patterns. I wonder why. It always doesn't go exactly the same speed. This is interesting, right? It's just like when I have a Van de Graaff generator and I make something float. And I'm going to start doing like a lot of like really highly produced or like high quality productions of this type of stuff is kind of my plan. But like, so you can make things float with the Van de Graaff generator, right? But you can't go out into the woods and find a Van de Graaff generator.
Right.
Okay. But it's still showing you that electrostatics will make things float. It doesn't have to be like a natural scientific experiment that still be of value. It still makes the stuff float. We still get to see it makes stuff float. It's still interesting. It's still a piece of information that we can incorporate into our understanding of the world.
Yeah,
anyway,
isn't it strange? Isn't it strange how we have here where on Earth that we have all these natural laws that are kind of like all rigidly confined to themselves in what they do, and they're unseen. And then we have these other things like electrostatics and working through the electromagnetic field, right? That are all unseen, that are working like interchangeably with each other. Like, wow. It's like pretty freaking weird.
And they all interact with the material world.
Yeah.
Like materialism is the height of human arrogance. It's just so arrogant.
Yeah,
that's the best word for it. It's just arrogance and ego. Short-sighted ego.
Listen, if materialism was true, there'd be nobody to think about it.
I'm telling you, it doesn't even make any sense.
Materialism, it's like because
I don't know
Ye-
why the fuck bacteria does what it does. When you look at under a microscope and you see these
Uh,
motherfuckers getting to work, and you're like, oh, ew. But when you really think about it, you're like, yo, these motherfuckers are working like ants. Like, they're why? Will I ever
yeah.
know? No.
Then think about this. Think about how much of the percentage of our body weight is made up of bacteria.
It's
All
almost
different
like
ones working in different areas. Sorry.
it's almost like there's an intrinsic order and purpose for everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, there certainly is.
Hmm.
And by the way, the appendix replaces the good bacteria. You know, when you take antibiotics and you wipe it all out, the appendix replaces the good bacteria. Isn't that interesting? You know, they just cut it
Wow.
out.
See,
Oh, we don't need that anymore.
how would it?
Yeah, they say it's
Yeah.
useless. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which contradicts their own materialistic paradigm because they claim evolution. So why would we even have an appendix then? But anyway.
Exactly. And these weird stories that come out. Oh, we came from animals that had more than one stomach. No, maybe your predecessors did, not mine.
Yeah,
who would?
sorry, go on.
I was going to say, who in the right mind just would lower themselves to these ideas of like, oh, I prefer the idea that I'm on a spinning ball and that it came from monkeys somehow. That can't be proven in reality.
Well, they're blinded to the preference part. They don't actually intellectually grasp that it's a preference. They don't know that. That's kind of they're blinded.
Well, if the appendix was that unimportant, why wouldn't they just remove it from everyone? You know,
dude. As soon as I heard them say the appendix isn't important, I knew immediately that they were.
That it's important.
Yeah, creates enzymes for your entire friggin' digestive system. Anyway.
No, not important.
Just like everything else I said.
We're laughing, but it's fucking sad, isn't it?
It is. Just like everything they said is bad for you. Most of it's good for you.
Yeah, especially salt.
Good, mostly bad if they say it's good. So just go with that. You'll be one of the
I take
healthiest
it that
people.
you guys have all got your appendices then, yeah? You've all got your appendices.
Yeah, I got mine.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good. I only just now lost my first. I only just now lost my first molar. Now,
they took my wisdom teeth, bro. Dude, I hate to say this. This made me really uncomfortable. I don't know about you guys. Dude, the whole pulling your wisdom teeth thing out is such a scam, bro. Because whenever you go through that pain, it happens right during your puberty time of your life.
Yeah.
So like when women give birth, that pain rewires their brain. And whenever your wisdom teeth come in, it was designed perfectly that they come in. That's why they're called wisdom teeth. They come in right when you start to go through puberty, effectively, or a little after, and your brain gets rewired for your next part of life. Like it actually starts to change based on that pain threshold.
Yeah.
And
so
they
can you
rip
imagine?
everyone's wisdom teeth out, and dude, the wisdom teeth goes way up into your head, bro.
Oh my God!
Insane.
You wouldn't believe how long it was when they pulled it out. Only
Dude,
less than a quarter. Scam. Less than a quarter of it was above the gum line. Less than a quarter of it. This thing was like 2 inches long into my jaw.
And dude,
into my upper jaw.
I talked to like a really based dentist, and he doesn't really do it anymore actually because he said he learned too much about it. But he explained that they say that you have to get your wisdom teeth taken out because they come in crooked. He said 60% of people's wisdom teeth come in like that, and like 98% of the time they straighten up just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I never had my wisdom teeth taken out when I was young, but I had to have them taken out later.
Listen, those wisdom teeth are really tough too, man. I'm telling you, this tooth, it had been broken. Like the whole front of it was missing and it didn't bother me at all. Like I had no problem at all for like literally 6 or 8 months. I was doing fine. Then all of a sudden I must have moved it or brushed too hard and
I'm not saying you should or
reaction.
I want to hear some testimonies of people that never had them taken out and they turned out just fine.
Yeah. I want to hear the end of Sonny's sentence.
I never had it had any of them taken out, just like you're talking about. But
Honored
yeah,
and
so
solid as a rock,
still
baby.
trying to finish the
All right,
sentence. I don't know if I
AI, I
was
hope
able
that makes
to.
sense for you, man.
I
cool.
still
Okay.
can't finish the
Kiwi.
sentence. Anyway,
Let
AI,
Sonny finish his sentence.
AI, wait a minute. AI, what was the sentence again?
Got excited.
I don't
It's
know. A
gone now,
sentence
dude.
is
It's
something
gone.
they give to prisoners.
Yeah, I know. That's frustrating.
Well,
You were
that's
you were talking about how you must have, it was fine for many months even though it was chipped, but at one point you must have brushed too hard or something and started hurting.
Yeah, I exposed the root from its natural protective we have protective coating on our teeth, and we brush too hard, we brush all that off, and we expose our gum line to all these things that it actually is healing by itself. Like I have my other wisdom tooth on the bottom on the other side is broken
Dude.
also. I'm gonna have to get it. Like I hate the idea of having it pulled. Like I'd rather just keep it. But if it gets
Dude,
like,
just freaking super glue it.
Dude, Sonny, you don't have to get it pulled, dude. Let me tell you, I'll send you a picture of what you can use. But there's something called, look, I'm actually in my cabinet right now. It's called regrow. Okay,
I've
so
heard of
it's
it. I've heard of it. Yeah, yeah. Send me the info, man. DM it if you could,
yeah,
please.
I will. It's called
Send me too.
remineral. Yeah, for sure,
We
bro.
need
It's
to
called
talk about that.
remineralizing tooth and gum powder. Okay, and what you do is you get organic yogurt, and you take this powder, you mix it into the yogurt, and then you coat your teeth and you let it sit there. And this is after you do you do coconut oil. So you do coconut pulls. So you do coconut oil mixed with clove oil, right? Natural organic clove oil, and then you do that for a while. Especially if it's bad, like do it for a while. And if your pain's like unbearable, you can drop clove oil straight on the tooth, and it's amazing, dude. But anyway, then you do this stuff. I watched a tooth that was decaying literally begin to grow back. Dude.
That's
Like
what this
on
one
everything
seemed
I
to
love.
do, bro. That's what this one seemed to do. The one on the bottom. It was fully
Like the
the
black
top of
started
it.
going away. The black
No, the
started
top had
all going away.
Oh, it did. Yeah. So the top of this one, like, it seemingly collapsed, but it's still all there, and it's got like a gap in there, but
But the pain's gone. The swelling and
no,
the
I don't
pain.
have any pain from this one at all. The other one I had to get
What's
pulled.
interesting?
Yeah, I have some broken off teeth
what's
too, and the
interesting?
pain's not. I haven't practiced the.
Just fortunate genetically that way, I guess. Anyway,
Was it? You know what's interesting? It might be speculation, but we would talk all the time about the gold rush. You know, I definitely was victim to a psychotic dentist who wanted the money from my government assistance, and he drilled like all of my teeth. Like now, that was never a problem when I had one dentist. Then I moved to a dentist in my neighborhood because I had moved with someone else. I went through the court system, and I guess they just couldn't be bothered with taking me that extra mile. Just send me across the street, and they drilled holes in my teeth. And even with that, I've never had any problems with my teeth since then. And I got all my wisdom teeth, not a problem. Now, so there's one way where they're like creating a problem to get money, right? Again, there's this whole pharmakia situation. Like it's all wrapped together. And we were talking about it. Somebody was telling me that milk, like not pasteurized, like not processed, that just raw milk,
yeah.
that regrows teeth is what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but it is also interesting that they banned this. Like if you're gonna if what I'm saying is true, then you can't have motherfuckers drinking milk and regrowing teeth into their fillings, popping their fillings out,
Are
because
you
that wouldn't
talking
work
about?
the
You talking
narrative.
about the calcium thing,
Yep.
Elijah? Like calcium being involved.
Well,
No,
Yeah,
just the
so
pasteurization.
even with the pulling of the wisdom teeth, like again, like I've been waiting for that to be
Dude.
the thing. Oh, when? My bad. I could have let me know.
No, bro, that's what they call it. Listen, they call that stuff pulling. When you're fixing your tooth, that's like in the tooth regrowing community, right? The
yeah.
little health nuts. They call it
Oil.
pulling. Oil. They call it oil pulling.
Oil
And then
pulling.
there's a stick. There's a stick that they use too, which has some kind of mineral to it. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh shit! The sticks that make all of the fucking Muslim dudes' fucking teeth super white because all they do is chew on that shit.
No,
They got
I don't think that's.
No, this is
Are
something
you
else.
sure?
This is something else.
You sure it's not that stick?
No. It usually
heard of
involves
this.
like coconut oil or some other type of oil. You
I
hold it in
need
your
to know
mouth
about
for a
this
while,
muscle
and
man.
it's called oil pulling. You hold this oil in your mouth, or
Nah, it's the stick. It's
different
that
oils.
stick that they be chewing on. I'm
Maybe
sure.
so.
Oh no, dude! It's like it's some kind of. So the whole point is this, like like electroplating.
It's like a
Right?
branch or something. Or are you talking about like a
Yeah,
tool?
yeah. But so like this
Yeah,
is
okay. They chew on the branch thing. That's what I'm
like the
saying.
tooth. The tooth kind of like, in a sense, remineralizes itself through some kind of electroplating type thing. It recoats itself like that. It has the acid form or something on it, right? Then you reintroduce the minerals, and then the minerals like harden into the section, and slowly but surely it rebuilds itself.
That's crazy. Hey, I tagged both Eli and Sonny in a picture of that stuff if you want to get it. I think we got it on Amazon. I can't remember.
Thanks, man.
That's fire, bro, because I'm telling you, I literally watched. I had a bad tooth that was like, I hate dentists, dude. I've had really bad experiences.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like
me
I
too.
had like black in my tooth, bro, and I did the coconut and oil pull for like 20, 30 minutes before I'd go to sleep. And then after I did it, I would put this organic yogurt mixed with this powder all over my teeth, and I'd just go to sleep. And dude, it's the black started going away within a couple of days, bro. And then
Yeah.
literally it started to fill back up, bro. It started to regrow. And that's very
That's what I
crazy.
need. That's what I need, man. Because if I could save my teeth if I could save the ones I have now, and like I've got other problems, the front tops of my teeth are screwed up. Like I'm starting to have some problems. But anyway, that's good.
As resilient our teeth, as teeth are, why wouldn't they be able to grow back? If they're treated right. I mean, because like you can get a tooth pulled, you're never going to grow it back. But if you have one broken off, I don't see why it couldn't grow back if the roots.
So let's remember that. Let's remember that these are people that are hell bent on lying to us at every given turn, for profit or for control. Now, look at how they did. Like I was just in a smoke shop, ironically, where they sell fucking sell exotic treats, or you go anywhere that sells exotic treats. When I say exotic treats, I'm talking about like from Japan or something. And there's like a whole laundry list for our Kit Kat, and like a 2 to 3 line checklist for their Kit Kat, and it's like chocolate, okay, milk, and have a good night. What? What the fuck is all this shit in my Kit Kat then? Like, so I'm just saying that not only do we have to brush our teeth, which I do, because I mean I don't know anything else. Brush my teeth twice a day. If that's because guess what? My diet calls for that. I want to eat all this candy. I want to eat all these burgers, all types of different shit that's fucking up my teeth. Want to smoke, want to do this, want to do that.
Sure, and
if we didn't have this diet, and if we didn't have these behaviors,
to clean your mouth.
If we didn't have these behaviors, perhaps our teeth wouldn't decay and get yellow and stuff. Just maybe. I don't know.
That's
much slower, probably.
Yeah, I mean that's the story. I mean, they say you toothpaste and shit. It's like, hey, brush your teeth. Which I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we've been involved in that behavior for a long time. Feels good to clean.
This
your
is
mouth.
like
have a
everything. It's like everything, right? It's like, you get commission.
You can wash
as
your
a
teeth with water, just regular water. You don't have to.
You get commission as a doctor to convince a woman to have a C-section. So it's the same thing. It's like they don't actually need a C-section, but they want to prematurely
That's
induce
not the case
labor.
every time, but anyway.
Helio,
just-
why do you
There's
keep
no medical
interrupting?
advice.
Helio, why do you keep interrupting every time somebody talks?
because
You're in the middle of their sentence.
The reason that I'm saying that
You're
is
interrupting people, though.
Reason we're talking about C-section.
You're in the middle of people's sentence. Someone's
What?
speaking, and you're talking. They're not done with their sentence yet. Got that
But I
part?
got you, Helio. Not medical
We're not
advice.
going.
Not medical
advice. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So, and I'm not saying this is necessarily always the case, although I'm a strong believer in the creator, so I would actually say it is. But everyone's got their own opinion. But what I'm saying is they get money for C-sections, okay? That's all I'm saying. And I've had a doctor tell me that. So obviously you got to have clients. And another thing that they do, the reason that they do C-sections is they like to induce the labor quicker because the doctors have a schedule. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of want you to get the baby out faster. I personally think that the baby's probably going to come out when it's supposed to because I believe in the creator, right? But my point is just the macro point here is obviously sometimes they'll kind of tell you that there's a problem where really not a problem exists, or it could be cured in a different way where they get to cure you. It's pretty simple.
I'm pretty sure we're way too far past this is not medical advice. And we'll probably
I'm okay. Allegedly. If you say allegedly, everything's okay legally. Literally. If you say allegedly, you're fine.
Really?
That's true.
I'm not sure if YouTube gives a shit about that, but
this is a contract realm. This is a contract realm. Remember that.
I'm not saying I disagree.
saying.
I'm just saying, some of this stuff that we talk about, we got to be kind of careful.
Well, my wife is I got married 20 weeks ago. I got married 20 weeks ago. Kai's 19 weeks pregnant today, and so I've been looking into this stuff. And they induce labor, and then they give you numbing agents because it's painful. So they're like induce labor, numbing agent, induce labor, numbing agent. And I'm just saying that a lot of it is manufactured.
These are facts.
Yeah, a lot of it's manufactured.
So even though we give facts about that, they'll still freaking say you can't say that.
But think about this from a business standpoint. Since that is how it is run, right? Because there are so many doctors that want to take their practice somewhere else. If they don't sign off on certain pharmaceutical things, then they get blasted and stuff like that. So we know that happens, right? So I'm thinking it isn't any more nefarious than them needing to do more deliveries a day. How do you do that? Okay, well, they can have babies faster. We can do more per day. That is going to increase our bottom.
I mean, if you want to have your baby at home in a pool or whatever, I mean, that's kind of a thing. You can do that, and you'd rather do that than go to the hospital.
Yeah, Helio, what's crazy, believe it or not, I'm actually not the one having the baby. But
no shit. I mean, so whatever she wants to do, that's fine, but
that's right. So she doesn't want to go to a hospital, but since it's her first time, she doesn't necessarily want to be at the house. We have like a birthing clinic that's basically like a house that we're gonna do that, and it's gonna be a water birth. Yeah,
kind of shit. Yeah, water. Fuck yeah, man, bro. I think that's probably a really good way to go.
Dude, are they going to have like the light dim, candle light, a natural light, and all of that?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, what were you saying?
I was saying I seen this video where this African woman's walking, right, and she just squats down, just freaking pulls the baby out, and then just keeps walking.
Blap.
Wow.
Blap.
Dude, that's another thing.
It's like took less than a minute. Wow.
That's the natural way. That's for sure.
Here's the question I do have.
It doesn't always happen that way, but anyway.
Whoa. Helio, calm down.
This is relax, Helio. You don't have to be contrarian to everything we say. We get it. It doesn't always. People don't always have birds that way.
Are you getting permission, Helio?
I apologize, gentlemen.
So the whole thing with the walking and the baby, just what I don't understand about babies, the umbilical cord. Like, how does how does that naturally? How do you deal with that?
Fight it, bro.
Like, why would you have to cut it? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I mean, I don't know what the process is for that.
Yeah.
The natural
So
process. Like, is it?
so it'll just fall off, and it takes about 3 days. But what's like the WHO, they suggest you do it under 30 seconds, which is definitely not the way to go. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. This is just what my research has led me to, because it gives oxygen to the brain. So they're just now coming out of water. They're learning how to breathe. And so as they're starting to breathe, it still pumps oxygen. And it's very crucial for some early stages of neural development, allegedly. And then in addition to that, it's supposed to go straight to the mother's chest because she releases immense amounts of oxytocin, which are transferred to the baby. And then, like he said, squatting is the way that the baby's supposed to come out. And they have everyone laying on their back with the legs up. So the baby has to fight upwards to get out, when actually it should be squatting. And it's actually argued that if you swirl your hips, some say with the vortex of the ether, but either way, if you swirl your hips while you're squatting, it'll fall out.
What? The what?
And the
Dude,
swirling
I've seen
of the
videos where
ether,
the girls.
I would go along with that. I would just stick with that. Go do the swirl with the direction of the swirling ether.
Yeah, dude, I've seen videos where the girls are smiling, like literally smiling. Like it looks like seriously, bro, it looks like they're having an orgasm. I'm not trying to be like vulgar or anything.
Leave the umbilical cord connected as long as you possibly can.
Wow, bro.
Dude, I didn't believe it till I saw it. I mean, they're on videotape giving birth smiling. So, you
mean, I'm not trying to be vulgar or anything, but orgasm.
It's kind of very strange hearing men talk about this. Is a little bit weird. I don't know.
It is weird, but there ain't no women in here, so
actually, no, it's good. It's just
AI's trying to say.
Excuse-moi.
That's not vulgar.
Yeah,
no, it's not. It's real life, and it's a good conversation. Really is.
I just wanted to kind of avoid the fallout.
Nope.
Catch this for a quick
You gotta admit, that's very interesting, right? Like, if you could see a girl giving birth and she's like smiling, dude, and then she gives an interview and she uses that word specifically to describe it. She says it's not like identical to intercourse or anything like that, but that it's like that. It isn't like this excruciating pain. There's no tearing when you do it this way. I mean, that's very interesting, because we hear a totally different paradigm where they're on their back and they're in crazy pain, and sometimes it takes many hours, and they got to get sewn back up, and then they rip the baby. The baby starts crying. They immediately cut the cord. They rip it from the mom. They slap it on the butt and make it cry. They wipe it all off. They put it in a blanket before they get back to the baby. They cut it off if it's a dude. They mutilate it if it's a dude from the jump. So it's very interesting when you look into it, that all you have to do is kind of trust the natural design of the creator, and it makes a lot more sense. That's all I'm saying.
The placenta holds a big amount of blood from the baby. So if you allow the placenta for the baby to rest with the placenta, a lot of the blood of the placenta is gonna flow into the baby, which is necessary. Actually,
that's cool. It's called a lotus birth, right? And then technically, some people actually like consume the placenta. Some women, and they say that increases a lot of nutrients in the colostrum, or what's it called? The first stage of breast milk. I forgot.
The colostrum. But still, the mom is gonna develop that essence of the mother, no matter what. But people do eat the placenta, but as long as you allow the blood to flow back into the baby, it's gonna be fine.
So catch this for a quick second. Wait, you mentioned something about the whole orgasm aspect of things, right? Now, there's a couple things you outlined. One, giving birth in water. Remember, water is a natural lubricant. A lot of people forget that, right? That does help with the delivery of the baby. The last thing, in terms of an actual raw bonding experience, you talk about the baby going straight to the mother after giving birth. Now, remember, post-orgasm, and again, I'm not gonna get into it or anything like that, but that is where they say you are connected with God, like the essence, so to speak, of divinity, because everything is just relaxed. So imagine you're in that post state and you're receiving the child that you just brought into the world. I think that's an amazing place to be.
Right, and
Beautiful.
everything that you produce, as a woman, when you produce that, when that baby comes out, they're immediately want. I mean, not immediately, but they're going to want to feed from your breast. That's called colostrum. And somebody was mispronouncing it earlier.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, colostrum.
Yeah,
But
colostrum
it
is the
doesn't
highest
mean that
glory.
you have to cut the umbilical cord. And if you didn't cut the umbilical cord, they're still feeding from the placenta.
I know. That's
All
not
of
what
the
I'm saying. What I'm
nutrients,
saying is for
and
the
go ahead.
first. Okay, colostrum is for a while, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's. And I'm saying, if the woman consumes the placenta, you can even put it in like capsules.
Well, I wouldn't.
I'm just
a
telling you. I'm
woman
just telling you that if you
consumes
the
and then
placenta afterwards,
reproduces
yeah.
it. I
No,
mean,
no,
she
it
drinks
just
her
that
own milk.
nutrients. No, dude.
Okay, well then.
You put the placenta in capsules, and the nutrients will go
Oh
back
well,
into the
the
mother's milk
placenta
production.
is so colostrum is the breast milk, and the
Yes.
Anyway, so you just said it.
If they consume the placenta, then it'll add nutrients to the initial milk production.
I don't think that's necessary, but anyway.
I'm not saying it's necessary. I'm just telling you what we found out researching. Yeah, I'm not saying you're a bad parent if you didn't do this. Like Kaya definitely isn't comfortable eating the placenta, but she is interested. She's interested in maybe the capsules, and it's her decision. And we're just praying about this stuff. But I'm just explaining that it's a rabbit hole, bro, and we've
No, but
learned a lot
as
of
far
stuff.
as like immediately cutting the umbilical cord, I don't think that's
No. You're supposed to leave it on for a while, and naturally it falls off. Yeah.
So the milk after you give
That's
birth,
all I was getting
that's the called the colostrum, as Helio was saying, and you can tell
But the
actually because
initial
the
breast
milk.
milk,
Hold on one second, Helio. Hold on one second, Helio. The milk
you're about to
is
say
actually
something.
it's thicker and it's a different concentrate than usual
And
breast
it
milk.
works the same way in most mammals. So anyway,
it's like yellow looking too. It's like it's like much thicker and it has like a tint.
It's sticky and it's sticky and it's thicker and and it looks like male semen actually.
and
I mean,
but the new babies love it. They love it.
Well, because that's what I mean.
If you deny the new babies this colostrum,
Helio,
then
you're even talking over the girl now, bro. You can't talk over women also, man. Come on, man. Have some respect.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not trying to virtue signal. I'm just saying, like, we're talking about pregnancy. A woman's giving her take on a part of the subject, Helio. I think that she may know a little
my
more.
bad. I'm being a dick. Go ahead, guys.
Sorry, I just find it. I'm not offended in any way. I'm just saying that also, the colostrum helps like the initial jump start of the baby's immune system. So there's like something in there that literally it basically the building blocks of the baby's immune system. That's what allegedly that's what I've heard in research and stuff like that. And that's what I was told when I had my daughter. Unfortunately, I didn't produce any, but there was other mothers present around me. My daughter was premature and very, very tiny. So I never got to have any of the, actual giving birth and things like that. But there was other mothers
she was no
around
less
me.
beautiful.
Oh no, she was ugly. She was like 2 pounds and 5 ounces. She was like a little raisin. She looked like a little chimpanzee. I thought she was covered in hair. I, I thought she was like she was not pretty. But that's just because that's what they look like when I was only 24 weeks. So she was literally 2 pounds and 5 ounces and like tiny, teeny, teeny, tiny. So it's, you can fit her in the palm of your hand, literally.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like she was literally the size of her father's palm of his hand. Like it was crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, so I couldn't breastfeed and all that stuff because it was a bunch of meds and things like that because I almost died. But there was many other women around me breastfeeding and doing it, and they explained everything to me because you take a class and you're with all the other mothers and you're doing these things. But it's breastfeeding is like, yeah, I mean, it's so important. It really is. I wish I could have gone backwards and I've done it. I wanted to do it, but was unfortunately, not an option for me.
Tell, tell,
However,
tell
it's
us
it's
about your
so
daughter
so so
now. I mean,
important.
tell us about your daughter now. Is she
It's the original Happy Meal.
the original Happy Meal? I have a meme for that,
She's
but tell us about your daughter now. I mean, it sounds really like
she's
you went
22
through
years old.
very,
Yeah.
really is. How is she?
She's amazing actually. I don't even
Awesome.
yeah.
Oh, it's freaking
She's
awesome. And
she was
you had
the
a lot
smartest,
of people
most
help you. Oh,
beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah. She
Yay.
she thrived. She thrived. She thrived. She was really, really tiny until actually I actually really enjoyed having a premature baby. And I know that sounds crazy to people,
Well,
but she was
my mother
really
was born
little.
premature. My mother was born premature. She was
Helio,
like,
dude, I will drive to Arkansas, dude,
and
if you
kicked my
don't
ass.
stop.
I'll shut up.
Yes.
I'll shut up.
Thank you.
She was really
Ilio, that
little
means you
for
got
a
7
long
hours.
time. She
Oh,
was
she stayed
really
small
little.
for a long time, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, because she was like literally when I brought her home, like she weighed 4 pounds. Like they put her on the scale and like she weighed 4 pounds that day. Like they were like, okay, you can take her home. As soon as she hits 4 pounds, she's out of here. Like it was like one of those, right? Because
Oh, wow.
there's like a rule in the law, you can't take the baby out of the hospital until it weighs 4 pounds.
Wow, I
And
didn't know that.
she was literally fine. Like nothing else was wrong with her except she was just not gaining the weight. So like the morning of, they were like, she weighs 4 pounds. Like, okay, release her. And then someone else came in and weighed her, and it was like 3 pounds and like 14 ounces. And they all looked at each other. They were like, send this baby home. Like, there's nothing else wrong with her. She's just, like it was me who had most of the issues. She really didn't have any issues of her own. And then we were about to leave and she had like a heart problem. They ended up having to send her home on a heart monitor. But it was just ridiculous. She was so smart and she was so little that she scared people because at like 6 months old, she was already doing things that a regular 6-month-old would do, but she looked tiny. So,
Right.
and even like when she was like 9 months old and she walked early. So she was really tiny and she was walking and talking, and people were looking at her like she scared people because could you imagine like you're looking at a 6-month-old baby in a carriage and it sits up and starts talking to you?
Right.
I had so much fun with it. I really did. Like I really did. Like because people were like looking at me. I'm like, it wasn't me, it was her, and they're looking at me like, yeah, right. Like, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
really. And then she's like, hi, I'm Jordan, and they're like, holy shit, how old is she? Like the look on people's faces were priceless. Oh my god, everywhere I went, it was priceless. I used to have fun, and then but once she hit the age of 2. And they tell you this because apparently every premature baby, which they don't tell you till after the fact, right? It's nice. They shoot them with steroids when they're born, and the steroids don't actually kick in until they're 2 years old, and they have this growth spurt between the age of 2 and 3 where they just like grow. like a ridiculous amount. And all of a sudden you're like, they're like caught up and surpass most kids. So she went from being really tiny to being like the tallest kid in her class. It was crazy.
That's true.
It really was. It was like so awkward and weird. And then I don't know. I think the steroids did other things to her, but she was super, super smart for like her age and her age range and all that stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, anyway, she's amazing now. She thrives at everything, and everything I've ever wanted to do or anything I've ever thought I wanted to do, she masters and excels at. So
oh, you live vicariously though, at least.
I did. I really did. I really got to live through my kid, and I didn't even try to force anything on her, which was, if you ask her, she probably thinks I don't enjoy any of the things that she's interested in, but I secretly love every single thing that she does. I just never told her. I just kept it to myself because I felt like if I told her that I like that, she'll think it's uncool and,
Right.
walk away from it.
So tell
I
her
just always wanted her to be her own person.
Tell her you don't like flat Earth at all. So flat Earth is so stupid, and maybe we should look into it.
Oh yeah, no, she thinks I'm crazy when it comes to that. So, but I'm crazy in a lot of other ways. I'm the metaphysical person. So you guys talk very, literal, and I'm the person that, like, I'm all on the ether and the, all that stuff like that, because I'm more metaphysical. I'm an energy worker, so I'm used to living in that metaphysical realm. I'm used to being called the crazy person, and like everybody dismisses me because you can't see what I do and it's not real and all that crap. So I'm good. I'm okay with it. I'm used to it, but like